Risk it for a biscuit? There is a moment that almost every human being experiences. A quiet moment that appears just before something new begins. It might be starting a new path, sharing an idea with the world, changing direction in life, leaving something familiar behind. And in that moment, something inside the mind whispers a simple question. What if this goes wrong? It's a powerful question, powerful enough to stop people in their tracks. Powerful enough to keep dreams sitting quietly in notebooks, to keep ideas hidden in thoughts instead of actions, to keep people standing at the edge of possibility without stepping forward. But here's the interesting thing about that moment. It isn't actually a sign that something is wrong. In many cases, it's a sign that something important is about to happen. Because throughout human history, the greatest discoveries, the boldest journeys, and the most meaningful transformations have always begun with a moment of uncertainty. A moment where someone stood at the edge of the unknown and decided to step forward anyway. Some people call this bravery. Others call it taking a leap of faith. Or in simpler terms, risk it for a biscuit. Why the brain resists new paths. The human brain is an incredible machine. It predicts, it remembers, it learns patterns from everything we experience. But its primary job has never been happiness. Its first job has always been survival. For thousands of years, survival depended on avoiding danger. Unknown environments could hide predators. Unfamiliar situations could threaten safety. So the brain developed a simple rule. If something is unfamiliar, treat it cautiously. And that ancient survival mechanism still lives inside us today. That's why when someone considers doing something new, starting a business, speaking up about an idea, changing careers, or following a dream, the brain often reacts with hesitation. It doesn't know the outcome yet, so it tries to protect you. It imagines possible problems, possible embarrassment, possible failure, possible disappointment, and suddenly that exciting opportunity begins to feel uncomfortable. But the interesting truth is this. The brain isn't actually predicting the future. It's simply reacting to the fact that the future hasn't happened yet. And when something hasn't happened yet, the brain fills the gaps with possibilities. Sometimes those possibilities are hopeful, but often they lean toward caution. Because caution kept our ancestors alive, the illusion of safety. Here's something most people don't realize. The brain prefers what is familiar, even if the familiar situation isn't ideal. A job that feels uninspiring, a routine that feels stagnant, a version of life that feels comfortable but not exciting. Why? Because familiarity feels predictable, and predictability feels safe. But history shows us something fascinating. Almost every meaningful breakthrough in human life came from someone stepping outside the familiar. Think about explorers who crossed oceans without knowing what was beyond the horizon. Inventors who tested ideas that had never been tried before. Artists who shared their work before anyone knew their name. Experience. When you try something new, the outcome may be success, or it may be learning. But both outcomes move life forward. Doing nothing, on the other hand, leaves everything exactly where it is. No progress, no discovery, no new paths. Sometimes the greatest risk isn't stepping forward. Sometimes the greatest risk is staying still, a powerful technique used by champions. There's something fascinating that many athletes and high performers have practiced for decades. Before they compete, they rehearse their success in their minds. They sit quietly and imagine every detail. The stadium, the sound of the crowd, the rhythm of their movements, the moment of victory. They run the entire experience through their minds again and again. Why? Because the brain responds to vivid mental imagery in remarkable ways. When something becomes familiar in the mind, the body behaves differently. Confidence increases. Movements become smoother. Reactions become faster. And suddenly, something that once felt uncertain begins to feel possible. Olympic athletes often run their races mentally before stepping onto the track. Musicians visualize performances before stepping onto the stage. Even astronauts mentally rehearse complex missions long before launch. The mind practices success before the world sees it. Building the blueprint of your future. There is a simple way anyone can use this principle. It begins with imagination. Sit quietly for a moment and picture a future goal. But don't just imagine the outcome. Build it slowly, like constructing a house. First, imagine the foundation. What does success look like? What kind of life does it create? Then begin adding details. The environment, the people around you, the feeling of accomplishment, the colors, the atmosphere, the sense of satisfaction. Brick by brick, the image becomes clearer. The more vividly you picture that future, the more familiar it becomes to the mind. And when something feels familiar, the brain stops resisting it. Instead of fear, curiosity appears. Instead of hesitation, motivation begins to grow. Why this changes everything? When the mind repeatedly sees a future scenario, something interesting happens. It begins treating that possibility as something real. Your attention shifts. You notice opportunities that align with that vision. You recognize chances to take action. Your decisions begin moving in that direction. And slowly, step by step, that imagined future starts becoming something tangible. Not because the universe magically changed overnight, but because your actions changed, your focus changed, your confidence changed. The vision became a blueprint, and the blueprint guided the journey. The courage to begin. Every meaningful journey begins with a moment of uncertainty. A moment when someone asks themselves, what if this actually works? And sometimes the bravest thing a person can do is not eliminate fear, but walk forward with it. Because courage isn't the absence of fear. Courage is movement, even when the outcome isn't guaranteed. Every path in life begins with a first step. And sometimes that step simply begins with believing that something better is possible. The final reflection. There will always be moments in life when the safe path seems easier. Moments when hesitation whispers reasons to stay exactly where you are. But many of the best experiences life has to offer live just beyond that hesitation. The opportunity that feels slightly intimidating. The idea that excites you and scares you at the same time. The step that feels uncertain but meaningful. Those moments are often invitations. Invitations to grow. Invitations to explore. Invitations to discover a version of yourself that hasn't existed yet. So if life ever places you at the edge of something new, take a breath. Picture the future you want to create. Build that vision carefully in your mind. See it clearly. Feel it fully. And then take the first step toward it. Because sometimes the difference between the life we imagine and the life we live is simply the moment we decide to risk it for a biscuit. If this video helped you see things from a new perspective, don't forget to like and subscribe to Valkyrie. We explore the psychology of being human, the mind, and how to navigate life with clarity in an uncertain world. As always, this has been Valkyrie. Thanks for stopping by. Until next time, be kind to yourself and others. Lanterns up, people.